Okay, this is part two. In the first part, I was mentioned the disgusting ways they are rewiring your thought process, but then trying to make you accepting of it. One thing is for sure is what's happening to us is as target individual, as I mentioned. Please watch part one, which consists of me just bringing up the fact that we are, unfortunately, and the reason why you hear target individual and what that means, it means you are just a test subject. We are in a world where life is just altered in many ways. And the reason why it's happening to us is not that we're special, it's because these governmental entities have been working on very sophisticated technology for decades. So if you hear a target individual, you're going to hear a target individual talking about things since the 50s, the 60s, not even maybe not the 50s, but maybe like the 70s and the 90s. And it's just like, why was that happen to us? And obviously for me, I'm thankful to understanding the reality of things. I'm not thinking, I'm not bragging in a sense like, oh yeah, no, I'm smart enough, I'm the smartest. But the truth is, this level of effort in a destruction and a misery is because we are being used as test subject, as guinea pigs for this program led by governmental entities. There's a lot of facade and psyops to try to make you think in different fashion, think this is about this and that and this, and this group of people are, it's comical when you look at it in the right way. Like it becomes comical. It's like, really? Like, it's like obvious that this is something where we are in this situation because there is a purpose that is obviously beneficial in a greater way, in a sense of there's some kind of benefit and a purpose, which you found out that at the end of the day is because they're developing the technology, they're developing this weapon system, right? These perps around you, as dumbed down as they are, as to what they just try to distract you. Hey, no, this is about pay now. This is just the bottom feeders for these governmental entities that are actually developing this technology. And the reason why this misery is happening to you is because there's a purpose behind this misery of developing this technology. There's a few goals it seems like they will try to do. This technology, this 21st century weapon system that's being developed utilizing human subjects, can alter a lot, so much. This technology can damage you physiologically, utilizing this like energies, this like frequency energy, radiation energy, or this like electromagnetic frequencies of some sort. Very sophisticated technology. I'm not that scientific to understand that, but once you hear what these DODs have been working on since the 50s and they've been developing this new system of weapons that can just alter your body remotely using this technology with radiation frequencies and things of that nature. And today has been much more sophisticated than ever. But not only your body physiologically, but your mind. They've been able to capture your neural network and manipulate it since the 60s. Creating this system where somehow, because your brain function in this like electromagnetic ways of frequency, they can capture those frequency by mimicking those same frequency, like creating a clone of your brain of some sort. Then from that point, manipulate the clone that is going to just going to manipulate your brain the same fashion. So capturing your brain frequencies and everything, and then be able to just manipulate them by manipulating what they've mapped. So they map your brain, they reconstruct your brain in a certain fashion. And as I'm saying that, you can see even that's not even natural. They map your frequencies and everything else, and then slowly just able to manipulate you, making you experience what they want you to experience, design an experience that they want you to experience. And it gets more and more sophisticated, more refined. So you're no longer experiencing things that are organically experienced. They're making you experience what they want you to experience. And then they try to make you accepting of these manipulations. Like, no, what? And the way they're utilizing mapping is something like that I should be accepting of. It's like, no, we mapped. You used to experience that when you were a kid. That's what. No, you map my brain, knowing that's how my brain can be functioned and manipulated. Map the frequency of the brain function. So you can make me experience this. So the sexual arousals, you can make me experience those because you've mapped my brain in a way that you can make me experience what you want. When they mean by mapping, they talk about, oh, we mapped your brain that because you felt like that. So no, they copied your frequencies to the point where they can make you experience what they want, but manipulate those frequencies they copy to go back into your brain, and your brain's gonna retrieve this. It's gonna retrieve these frequencies that they manipulated, and now you experience what they made you experience. They need to map your brain before they start manipulating you. And so then they make you experience these things that they can, with time, it's become more and more refined today. And it's just another level. And so they make you experience these things, and then like, no, but remember you felt like that when you were a kid. No, you're just concocting feelings and reactions and stimulations. Make me experience those, then somehow create a thought process where you make me think, oh no, you felt like that when you were a child. And it doesn't even make sense. And so today they can reconstruct your thought process and give you stimulations and then try to make you acceptive of this. These men express it better than me. This is how it's described here.
Innocent citizens being controlled by government-sanctioned experiments. Is Cheryl Welsh telling the truth, or are her claims absurd? Just another conspiracy theory that's impossible to prove. Maybe. But not if you listen to Nick Bench.
I think there's some good evidence that Cheryl Welsh and many of the other people I've spoken with have been victimized by this electromagnetic mind control experiments. The weapons of this century aren't bombs and bullets and ordnance, but electromagnetic energy targeting the human being, which is the greatest revolution in military affairs since gunpowder.
Bench is an expert in government mind control. He is convinced the Pentagon has mastered a technology once thought to be science fiction. The ability to broadcast information directly into the human brain.
Our government began spending a lot of time looking at how to modify behaviors of human beings. Going back to the Korean War, in fact, in a publication, Low-Intensity Conflict in Modern Technology, they have a chapter on electromagnetic weapon systems and being able not just to debilitate someone, but actually even to stimulate certain activities within the brain.
Wow.
HARP is the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, which started as joint effort of the Air Force and Navy. This is a very large array or field of antennas based on Alaska radio frequency antennas.
HARP antennas transmit powerful radio signals into the upper atmosphere to study the effects on wireless communications. But Maggie says HARP can also be used for more sinister ends.
HARP has announced several of their programs and campaigns, and there's two areas that I got very concerned about. One was weather modification applications. The other was the effect on human beings. If you can modulate a signal that the brain locks onto, recognizes, and begins to mirror or follow the frequency following response. The brain rhythms change, then it creates a chemical cascade within the brain, and the emotions change. Now the resolution gets finer and finer and finer. And it used to just be about triggering emotions. You change people's brain chemistry pretty readily, change their emotional state pretty easily. But when you get down to the idea of thoughts, and being able to manipulate those, that requires a different kind of sophistication.
Do we hear sounds?
So, I think it's said better that they can modulate the frequency of your brain right after they observed it. That's when the mapping comes on. Once they have created this mirrored brain, then they can start manipulating you by making this mirrored brain experience something that then is going to be transported into your brain, at least based on what it says. So they make you experience these things where then they can control you, right? They control you to make you experience thought process, reactions, stimulations that they want you to. and you hear that this is very pedophilia centric. With me, what they do, for example, somebody said her hands. What they're trying to do is to make me think of me as a child, and they exaggerate what I did as a child, and make me think what we did is just, this is what you experienced when you were a kid, and actually give me a sensation, a stimulation that they implanted for me to experience. And so you see, that's what you experience. We mapped. No, you are manipulating my brain to experience that, because you have captured my brain frequencies. You've mapped my brain out to the point that you can make me experience what you want me to experience, and what I'm experiencing is what you're making me experience, because you can control my brain to experience that. These trash are supposed to get you to think somehow in a logical way that they're not manipulating your brain to have this, to experience this reaction. It's them doing these things to you so you can experience it. And they're using these perps that are trying to make you acceptive of everything. They try to make you acceptive of these manipulations. And you hear them using this V2K technology, which is the voice to skull, to talk, interact with you. It's like, no, you use her hand. And what they're trying to do is deflect, because they want me to somehow go with this logic that what they're doing to my brain is not manipulating me to experience that, but they've seen this experience when I was a child, and so today they just make my brain no. And what they talk about her hand is what they try to exaggerate of what I did when I was a child in middle school, to try to make me acceptive of how they are manipulating my brain, because they have been able to capture my frequency, my brain frequency, and just alter my brain the way they want to. It's so disgusting. And they truly want you to accept these things. They have no shame. Like, I don't know how they can play with themselves to that level. They do these things. As this man said here,
using neuro-linguistic programming techniques.
I'm being careful because they're going to counter this.
Can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. Using neuro-linguistic program individual's head. And once you can do that, you can control them using neuro-linguistic programming techniques. You're rewiring their thought processes and brains. And so this gets into what's called offensive information warfare. And
so the first part that you didn't hear, because they're going to try to flip or something else, is they can pipe in voices, right? This is the V2K, this voice to skull technology that you can hear the interaction from these people that sound like they're around you. You know, I'm sure there's people around you, and I'm sure there's people who know that close to you, interacting with you. And they interact with you while they're forcing you to get experiences. It's like, oh no, we mapped, and then they go into, no, you use her hand. By the way, they're talking about me as a child, like I said. I'm just want to put that in perspective. Kid at that age. That's how my brain is being put in the age of that kid, like that age, like that's where my brain is going at. Right, and they use perps. I mean, they come in all shape or form, and I don't know how they find the strength. Well, listen, I think the incentive makes it okay to do, but they have perps of that all nature, like coming like this and just like, nah, we're labs. And they rewire your brain in so many disgusting ways. Even your dreams, in the first part I talked about it, are used to create this like reconstruct your brain, forcing you to have dreams where you have sexual stimulation, include a child in it, and then make you experience like a sexual stimulation toward that child, and be like, no, we mapped it, they are, you know, we saw that when you were a kid. What? Try to get you to accept these things. And they have this trash who are renowned to be doing this pedophilia type of torture, reconstructing your brain in this fashion. You heard the noise campaign? Because when I was describing that, they were playing with what they make me experience, and I don't identify with that. I understand this is why target individual, please understand this technology is that sophisticated. You should not be accepting of the manipulations. Understand they are really doing their best for you, and sometimes it's desperate for you to identify with it. They're not desperate about what you're going to experience. You're going to experience it regardless. There's nothing you can do about it. At least, I don't know if there's technology that can block how they can alter these frequencies. But you should not identify with this. I'm so thankful I have this information because they put things in perspective that these people are altering your mind. They've been doing that for years, for decades. They've been learning how and being more and more sophisticated with the time. And just like other target individuals have mentioned, they do this pedophilia type approach, and they acknowledge that there's people in the surrounding participating in this. And they have this pedophilia type of tormenting tactics that have been consistent with other target individuals. With me, they do these things, and they're like, no, we minded. You felt like that when you were a kid. The stupidity. Can you imagine? Even that logic on its own makes no sense. When you make my brain be a child's brain, you who do it does. But they don't do that. They are manipulating your time, your real in real time, then try to make you experience the same thing as a child. And for me, because as a kid in middle school, I did this dumb thing to myself that was just so impulsive, and the child not. They're using that. It's like, no, you use her hand, try to exaggerate what I did as a child, and try to like make me acceptive of what they make me experience. Matter of fact, what they make me experience, like for example, for that dream, it goes even further younger. Of me, like when I'm in 3rd grade, like 10 years old, 9 years old, and try to like, no, but you felt like some. So they're concocting this sensation and stimulation that they really recreating my brain in this fashion and try to make you accept it. It's so disgusting. Can you imagine you're in this program where you are here, okay, find ways to make him have this reaction to children, and then find ways to make him acceptive of this manipulation. So they make me think of this little girl. It's like, no, but remember when you were a kid? Remember what? I can tell you exactly what you do. You just make me have this sexual stimulation. You make me have this arousals. You then bring this kid. It's all in these dreams that they force us to have, like this woman said here, which is disgusting. Let me get this. This woman described it, and the poor woman, she sounded very broken down.
To be able to help this problem and this issue, we'll have to have more knowledge on what psychotronic weapons are. I am physically linked and leashed from my neck to the electromagnetic power of one of the weapons that is being used against me. I get tortured day and night. At night it's with nightmares and all kinds of dreams that I don't want in my head. And
so they do these things. In my dreams, initially they try to do like demonic dreams and things like that. This didn't really scare me. Even when I'm killed or shot or something, didn't scare me. The pedophilia things, the one that initially, especially, it's been since 2019, so it's been a long time now that I've been manipulating these ways. I was a target individual before that, but 2019, that's when they started playing with my brain frequency, like in the sense of like manipulating me in this fashion. And I remember waking up in sweats, but now you just kind of become okay with it. Like, no, okay, but you just like deal with it. It's like, this is the nasty things they do. I don't identify with that, but it's nasty. So they do the same thing, give me sexual stimulation, arousals that they can make you have easily. Like this man said, emotions, reaction, those things, they can easily make you experience that. Once they capture your brain, your brain frequency, just like sensation, stimulation, oh my gosh, like nothing. It's like I feel like sometimes they can press a button and just like the stimulation, my libido is cranked up. It makes me be scared of my own libido, because when I start feeling stimulation, it's like, oh my gosh, there's gonna be a child, because that's how they rewire things. It's like I'm gonna see a child, and they're gonna aim the stimulation toward a child, and then it's gonna disturb me. It's gonna disgust me, and it's psychological warfare. They rewire things in these nasty ways, and then the way they paint the story. Jesus, if you go through my videos yesterday, we were going through like this, the sister of a girl I used to date, and they will try to use her. Her name is Chloe. They try like no, but it's coming up with ways to make you acceptive of what you experienced today, the manipulation experience, and they really are trying to paint this persona, and it's part of this program. Nothing that I'm saying is unique to me. Nothing is unique to me. Nothing. They have this tactic of making you acceptive of personas they created to disorient you, to break you down. Like this man here said, who's a target individual.
You might guess that this person developed delusional disorder. This is a paranoid schizophrenia. But first of all, nobody develops paranoid schizophrenia in the 50s, in their 50s. This is, if you haven't developed it by 30, it's not. Then this technology exists. These nefarious programs exist. And it's hard to imagine for a person that why would you do something like this? But if you think about the new type of warfare,
cognitive warfare.
Exactly, it's a cognitive warfare. You don't have to kill people that you are fighting against. You can just degrade their brain. You can
you alter their minds.
Yeah, alter their minds,
personalities.
And it's like Chinese torture. I mean,
the last part he say alter their minds, and then somebody which is Robert Duncan says personality rebuild. They literally like creating like it's not just like what you experience, but they are literally trying to condition you in certain ways, reconstructing your brain in different ways, and they create these disgusting pedophilia things. And then they want you to identify with it. They have people around you in your surroundings really out there. It's like, try to gaslight you into accepting what they've been working day in and day out to make you experience. And your whole ecosystem, you heard the honkings that came at a certain time period. Everything around you is like orchestrated in certain ways. Things are time in certain ways. You can see, make me swallow my saliva. They, like I said, this is the technology we're talking about. It's a technology that is so sophisticated, but it's the new system of weaponizations of 21st century. I think I said it wrong, but this man said it properly in regard of what's the future of weapon systems. This is it.
Times more RF, not to mention everything else that we've done. So the human body couples with external fields of all kinds. For radio frequency, you can look at the Radio Frequency Dosimetry Handbook, 1986, University of Utah, produced for the Air Force. It gives you the resonant frequencies for each vital organ so that you can send in a radio signal that will couple with the liver, the kidneys, the lungs, and cause it to malfunction so that you can degrade the performance of your adversary. The new weapon systems being developed today will attack the mind, the body, and our physiology on an energetic level. Not with bullets and bombs. It's a perfect Republican weapon. No offense to Republicans here, but you don't want to destroy the property. You have to rebuild it afterwards. This is a weapon systems of the 21st century. It's a very...
Like I said, this is the new weapon system of the 21st century. And it's not really that new in a sense.
We have it in a lot of ways, but the research goes back over 50 years. The first...
You understand? They've been developing these weapons for a long time. The physiology aspect of it and the altering of the mind. I mean, I always bring that up.
In 1965, DARPA launched Project Pandora, which studied the possibility of using microwave radiation to control human behavior. The project reportedly ended in 1969, but DARPA's investigation of how machines can affect and possibly control the brain continues to this day.
And they want me to think that this is their money.
And the mind can be altered.
and these entities aren't the one really running this program. I know what this is about, and the perps come in all shape or form, huh? Oh, they are using psyops to make you accepting of this. What I mean by psyops is they're presenting perps in certain or perps are presented to you that appear to be certain ways or are in certain fashion, and then because they're involved, you should accept that this is not the manipulation that they've been doing for years. They really are using all kinds of psychological and cognitive warfare tactics for you to be accepted because you're a test subject in this program. It's like an open air lab where you just can be manipulated whenever. And they want you to see how responsive you are to it. Are you accepting of it? And so for me, I understand that there's nothing I can do to change what's happening to me, but I can at least provide some testimonials so others don't fall into like the acceptive mind of what they want you to experience. This technology is, we're talking about we're talking about this here.
Designed to interact with the human nervous system in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions for that matter. The other more recent term we have for that is EEG heterodyning or EEG cloning. The difference between EEG heterodyning and EEG cloning would be, let's say, me remotely receiving your EEG and then duplicating it and putting that in another person to give them your same thoughts or feelings or physical reactions. EEG heterodyning would be receiving your EEG, manipulating it to put it back inside your head to give us a desired physical reaction or emotional reaction.
You know how clear this sounded, but they are literally designing the emotions and reaction that they want you to have. You know, with me, they're like, no, we're just monitoring you, that I'm not being manipulated. This is the kind of mentality they want me to have. No, they are literally altering my mind to experience what they want me to experience, and the experiences have been very pedophilia-centric, like other target individuals have mentioned. They are truly trying to make you acceptive of these things. And on top of that, the pedophilia type of torture has been well spoken about from others, as you've heard in the first part. I'm just so thankful. And you hear the Nose campaign because my mind was being altered to think about something else. They were trying to make me think, oh, but you pay for what you did as a kid. Listen, you've heard what they do to children. You heard that they're torturing the most vulnerable babies. And you hear this Nose campaign to try to make me accept it, because one of the testimonials of a woman say, we're being, me and my young child going through this whole thing, and she mentioned monitor or something that it's like, no, you see, we monitor, we're not manipulating the brain. She's talking about her and young child being tortured. It's so nasty. But I'm so thankful for testimonials like that. That just I'm so thankful for that. And this person is no longer alive, but she left this testimonial.
It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind. But he thought of it. Like, this disgusting thing. And you saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting thing that I didn't want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surrounding.
In testimonial from this woman.
Experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation, so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos in my...
This
This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
or even this woman.
To see every night, that I thought how that could happen, but then I told them that they would never take my will. Joy, deception. I learned to talk back in my mind during the process when I was awakened, and I would say demeaning things that I cannot repeat it in this blog. You know what I mean? Since they had violated me for so long, I decided to aggravate them with words in my mind. I can hear my own voice. I told them I'm going to make you pay for all of the years of torture that I've taken, and all you are going to hear is aggravation. For every single second of my privacy that you have taken away from me and my family. Then said as the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was imposed, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing, and then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ASS. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming and perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals.
As you can clearly hear, they do this manipulation. They alter your mind, and they want you to be accepting of this. When there's clear validation, the manipulations and altering the mind is what they do. You are no longer yourself. They are literally trying to make you accepting of these personalities they create. It's so nasty. Target individuals stay strong and do not be accepting of this.